Dang, here we go. This is something that, especially if you're new to crypto or even if you're not, you have to be aware of the shenanigans involved sometimes in this crypto, man. If not, you'll be taken for a lot of money. There's so many different scams, especially when you're talking about a bull cycle that we're in. The scams get more rampant, they get more sophisticated. So check this out. Crypto investor reveals disturbing insights on Coinbase controversial account blocks. In recent months, a growing number of users on social media platform X, formerly Twitter, has voiced their frustrations regarding unexpected account restrictions and blocks imposed by the US-based cryptocurrency exchange Coinbase. So we're going to talk about scamming and how some of these scams work, and I'm going to show you some things. But also, it's not just that there's a lot of scams. Also, Coinbase and other centralized exchanges, like I've said before in the past, they play games at certain times. Like if Bitcoin is like, boom, hitting the all-time high, or another cryptocurrency is jacked up several 100%, it's just running up the numbers. Coinbase will, and I've spoke about this before, when back in the days, years ago, they used to tell you what coins they're going to list ahead of time. So what I would do is I would get in position. So as soon as that day comes, I would switch over to that coin because I knew there'd be a big bump. I knew it'd pump a lot. So, I'd be up 300-400%. Now I'm trying to switch it over to Bitcoin so I could take my gains. And they would give me all these error messages. Oh, sorry, we can't, do the transaction right now. We want to make sure we protect your blah, 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 blah. It was just like, because, if you buy at a low price and it goes up, they lose money selling it to you at the higher price. So, they'd say different things. Network is down, or, whatever. So that's one thing that Coinbase will do. And this is why, and also, it's a centralized exchange. They can do what they want. This is why I've always said, like, don't keep too much on centralized exchanges. Like, use them as a necessary evil. And I can't lie, I've kind of broke that rule a little bit myself because I do have more than I typically would have on a centralized exchange right now for my own personal strategic reasons. And I should probably recalibrate that. But more on that later. The wave of complaints has raised significant concerns about Coinbase's risk management practices and effectiveness in preventing users from falling victim to social engineering scams, which are estimated to cost customers over $300 million annually. 65 million stolen. Amidst users' complaints and account restrictions, Zach XBT, a crypto investor, has attributed these account issues to Coinbase's aggressive risk models, which appear to prioritize security measures at the expense of user accountability. Zach XBT analyzed withdrawals from Coinbase, uncovering 65 million stolen from users between December 24th and January 20th. That's only a month. Wow, 65 million, gang. That's crazy. That's diabolical, nasty work. It's important to note that this figure is likely a fraction of the actual losses. Think about that, 65 million. One particularly troubling case involved an individual who lost approximately $850,000 to a sophisticated scam. Like I said, they get more sophisticated. The scammer employed a spoof phone number and utilized personal information from compromised databases to establish trust with the victim. Posing as a Coinbase representative, listen to this, the scammer claimed the victim's account had experienced unauthorized login attempts, a tactic that Coinbase itself explicitly warned users against, noting that they will never initiate phone calls. Look at that. Let's get this. Let me go ahead and highlight this. You guys got to keep this in mind anytime. They will never initiate phone calls. Following this, the scammer sent a counterfeit email that appeared to come from Coinbase, complete with fake case ID, to further gain the victim's confidence. Then they instructed the victim to transfer funds to a Coinbase wallet and whitelist a specific address, all while assuring them that support was verifying their account security. Now, here's why, and also they're criticized for inadequate response, because I'm not gonna lie, if you ever have a problem with Coinbase, it will take them weeks just to get back to you. I've had situations where I had to contact Coinbase, their customer service, And yeah, it takes weeks and even months sometimes to rectify a problem, if they even do it in the first place. But what's very interesting about what they said about how this scam went down is I've said this before, I've had a lot of different phone calls, text messages, emails from people claiming to be Coinbase, saying, hey, you're somebody tried to get into your account. I've had phone calls, where I just let it play out. Like, I knew it was a scam off rip, but I let it play out and pretended like, oh, I'm really concerned and I need to know what's going on, just to see what they do. And what this one of them was trying to do was trying to get me to give them remote access. So they sent me a link like, hey, tap this link and we'll go over this and blah, blah, blah. They wanted remote access to my account. You know what I'm saying? I've got phone calls, text messages. In fact, let me show you something. I just got this text message just yesterday. Coinbase, your code for withdrawal is blah, blah, blah. Didn't request it? Contact us immediately. So like, when you do a transaction, especially you sending, like if I'm sending, some crypto out to one of my hard wallets, one of my self-custody wallets, I have to do verification with fingerprint. Or you can set it up to where they'll give you a text message with the number before they'll allow it to send out. But I changed it now to where all I have to do is use my fingerprint. So stuff like this is scam. And a lot of times, you get these calls and they'll be like East Indian, heavy accent, telling you, oh, your account has been compromised. Look like somebody tried to take. I'm not making fun of anybody from where they're from. I'm just saying this is what they sound like. Oh, they tried to take 600,000 or it'll be a ridiculous number that I don't have, right? And I think they just guess at it because sometimes they're pretty close. But when they say some crazy shit, 100,000 or something, it's like, I don't have 100,000 in crypto on my Coinbase account. That's ridiculous. I would never have 100,000 on my Coinbase account. That'd just be ridiculous. I have other ways that I could liquidate when I want to take profit, so there's no way that I would put that much there. But it is what it is. As we get closer, as this bull run mounts up, and just as crypto gets more adopted and mainstream, you're gonna have more scams. My advice to you would be don't keep too much on Coinbase. Like I said, I probably have more than I should, but a lot of them are Ethereum tokens and they're so expensive to move. I just decided just to keep them there. There's a necessary evil for me with Coinbase because yes, I can send from the Lightning Network straight to Coinbase, Bitcoin. And then I don't lose any money on that transaction. It's instant. And then if I want to trade it into a different coin, because I have Coinbase One, I could do that for pretty much free. So if I want to buy the dips on different coins, let's say Bitcoin's holding up pretty good, but some of the altcoins that I mess with they're dipping, then I'm buying the dips. And sometimes I'll use Bitcoin to do that. So there is a necessary evil involved in, dealing with these exchanges, but really you should not keep too much. Keep it in hard wallets. Keep it in your own self-custody wallets. I typically keep my crypto in blockchain specific wallets. So my Cardano and Cardano coins, tokens, they're on a Cardano wallet. It's exclusive for Cardano. My Solana, whatever coin that I have, if they have wallets associated with that blockchain, just because it makes it easier. If you want to use those exchanges, you want to trade, you want to do different things, stake, provide liquidity for a decentralized exchange, I just use the specific wallet to that blockchain, right? And of course, I have some multi-blockchain wallets that I hold, Exodus, where I hold things, Atomic wallet, Trust wallet, whatnot. So I try to keep, a minimum on the Coinbase, but you know how it goes sometimes. Anyway, scammers have reportedly developed nearly identical clones of the Coinbase. Oh, that's another thing. So, and the way you could kind of notice it is sometimes the spelling's just a little bit different if you look close. Like one of them, they were spelling Coinbase with a K. I was like, that was obvious. They'll send it to emails that you don't have associated with your Coinbase. Things like that, man. So, the responsibility for these security failures lies heavy with Coinbase leadership, which has been scrutinized for not adequately addressing the root causes of these issues. While it's tempting to place blame solely on the exchange, the reality is more nuanced. Zach XBT suggests many victims have reported receiving inadequate support from Coinbase, often getting stuck with customer service agents who are unable to provide meaningful assistance. Moreover, the exchange team is reportedly frequently difficult to reach outside of U.S. business hours, which is a significant disadvantage in a 24/7 market. Further complicating the landscape of its users. In light of these challenges, suggestions range from creating account options that enhance security for advanced users to improve outreach and educational resources for those less familiar with the nuances of online security. Moreover, pursuing legal actions against both scammers and the tools that they enable these crimes could serve as a deterrent and demonstrate. And here's the problem. If you want to really know the problem when it comes to this regulation and how they deal with crypto scams, the truth is they're not really, at this point, I haven't seen evidence that these regulators are really interested in protecting consumers. They're more interested in making sure they don't lose out on their ability to track and tax you. That is where their effort and resources is really coming from. This is where these regulations are really coming from at this point in time in the crypto, in the blockchain gang. Anything that has to do with making sure they don't miss money, that is what they're pursuing. They're not really trying to help people who are getting scammed. Yes, they may go after some of these scammers if they have a lot of money because they're going to confiscate that crypto and keep it. I'm just telling you the truth. This is why my last channel was taken down for exposing $100+ million scam that they were scamming worldwide with it, globally. They just started taking action. It's been like 4 or 5 years that I've been blowing the whistle on this, and I lost a channel behind it. But they're just catching up to it in the early stages of actually taking action. You know what I mean? So it's really up to you. That's one of those things. You have to have your big boy pants on when it comes to this crypto. Let me show you this again. You have to have your big boy pants on when it comes to dealing with these crypto scams. It's up to you to secure. That's the thing. You have more control, but you have more responsibility. So you have to make sure you have your stuff in order, your ducks in a row. Have your phrase, your keys, make sure you have your keys to your wallets. Make sure that you're not sending it somewhere that you don't, by accident. I've lost money before by sending XRP to Coinbase and not using the tag, or using the wrong tag, because when I was trying to copy it, I couldn't. So I just tried to memorize it, blah, blah, blah. And it got sent and I couldn't recover it. I've also had a situation where I sent XLM to my Coinbase wallet and I didn't use a tag. I was able to recover that, but it did take months before I was able to recover it. So Coinbase is notorious for terrible customer service. They're notorious for their platform crashing when the market is pumping and people are trying to take their profits. Because remember, there's an actual, conflict of interest with them buying coins back from you that they sold at a lower cost. You got to remember, they're in it to make money. That is why, you live by the code when you deal with these decentralized exchanges. If the liquidity is there, it's going to go through, because there's no person or persons who directly benefit or not from that transaction. So the code dictates that, hey, you want to do this transaction, you just hit this button, you do this, and bam, bam, bam. If the liquidity is there, you can make the exchange. But not everybody knows how to deal with decentralized exchanges. Anyway, this is from Bitcoinist, Blockchain Crypto Gang. Thanks for tuning in. Make sure you like, subscribe if you haven't already. Comment, let me know if you've had any problems with any of these centralized exchanges or any scams or anything of that nature. Let me know your story. You can also hit me up at cryptalkpodcast@gmail.com. Thanks for your time. Peace.